ACT skill number 18. And I look through these problems, and majority of these problems are going to have you choose, they're going to have you choose numbers to represent the given variables and then assess what happens. So in this problem it says if C equals this quantity, what happens to the value of C when B and E are increased by 2? So I'm just going to choose some numbers. Let's say B right now equals 3 and E equals 4. Okay, use your calculator or write on paper. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to solve this quantity when B is 3 and E is 4. Go ahead, please, as quick as you can. Confirmed. Did anybody else end up with negative 16? Yes or no? You did, Blue Jay? Okay. All right, ready, guys? Now it says we're going to increase both by 2. I want you to change now B to 5 and E to 6. Let's go again. 15 seconds, go, as quick as you can. I think I did something wrong here. Let me check my work. Increase by 2, increase by 2. Negative 2 times 5 minus 2 times 6. Oh, minus 5. That's my mistake. Okay, so we went from negative 16 to negative 24. Negative 16 to negative 24. So think of this. Here's 0. Negative 16 is right here. And we go down to negative 24. Are you increasing or decreasing? Decreasing by what amount? 8. Flip to the back side. T represents an odd integer. So let's just choose any odd integer. Let's try 3. So I'm going to say T equals 3. Which of the following represents, which of the following expressions also represents an odd integer? So I'm simply going to plug it in. 3 subtract 3 is 0. Is 0 odd? No, 0 is not even or odd. Plug in 3 for T. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 subtract 1 is 5. There's odd. Done. Number 2. If m is less than 0, well, any number less than 0 is going to be negative. And n is greater than 0. Any number greater than 0 is positive. Then the product, that means multiplying these two, is going to always be a negative times a positive is always a negative. Going on to number 3. If b is any real number other than 3 and 7. So I'm going to choose any number other than 3 and 7. I'm going to choose 2. Then what does this equal? So 3 subtract 2 and 2 subtract 7 over 2 subtract 3 and 2 subtract 7. By the way, what happens to these quantities? They cancel out, right? Because you'd have negative 5 over negative 5. And really when you cancel out, you're left with 1. And now on top I have 3 subtract 1 is 1. And 2 subtract 3 is negative 1. 1 divided by negative 1 is negative 1. How many, when you tried this for homework, found number 4 to be a little difficult? Hands up high. I did not ask you to do this for homework? Okay, thank you, Adriana. There are K students in a class. Let's work with a really easy number. So, do you guys agree it's really easy to work with the number 100? So let's write K equals 100. There are 100 students in class. If among these students, a certain percentage have not seen a movie. So Gilbert, choose a percentage for me that's pretty easy to work with. 5%. Okay. So if 5% have not seen this movie, then which expression represents the number of students who have seen the movie? By the way, how many students have seen it then? 95%, correct? 1 second for me. 95% have seen it. And what is 95% of 100? 95. I know I want my final answer to be 95. So if I make k equal to 100, I'm just using random numbers. You could use other numbers. If I have k equals 100, and Gilbert said 5%, that means q equals 5 represents not, then I want to know which one of these expressions gives me an answer of 95. That's the number of students given this information who have seen it. Grab your calculator for me really quick, please. Take 100 times 5, or do it in your head. Does that equal 95? No. Cross it out. Take 0.01 times 100 times 5. Does that equal 95? No. Okay, we need to do this one by one here. Take 100, subtract 5, and get an answer. Take it times 100, get an answer, and then divide by 100. Did you get 95? Yes. There's our answer. I'm going to come back to you in a second round, okay? Okay. Let x equal this quantity. Please listen. You'll have a chance to talk to your partner in a little bit. Let x equal this quantity. What happens to the value of x if the value of m increases by 2 and the value of n decreases by 1? So let's just choose some numbers. Let's say right now m is 5 and n is 6. So let's get an answer first of all. So negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And negative 2 times 6 is negative 12 minus 4. Negative 15 and negative 12 is negative 27. Negative 27 subtract 4 is negative 31. This is what I have originally. Now I'm going to redo this math, but I'm going to increase m by 2. That means m is now 7, and I'm going to decrease n by 1. n is now 5. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Negative 31 subtract 4 is now x equals negative 35. So if you had to describe these quantities, going from negative 31 to negative 35 would be a decrease by 4.